This is the EC Podcast. This is S.A. Nathy, otherwise known as GTHT. If you know me, you know me, and you know what I do. Awesome. Thanks for listening. This, of course, is the podcast for elementalcomicsbrand.com. Hashtag ECBrand on Twitter at elementalcomics, and facebook.com/elementalcomics is that page as well. Please make sure you check out the recent, which is what this has to do with, the recently uploaded opening credits trailer for the new series from the EC brand, Total Warriors Apple Squad. If you saw the teaser I did last year, you finally get a little bit more, and as of a few days from now, on the 31st of January, the premiere episode of the Total Warriors Apple Squad series will debut on youtube.com/user/FreeTheOracle, the official EC brand YouTube channel. So about the series, I've talked about this numerous times in the last 7 or 8 months, going back last year. The series takes place on Troa in the land of Utol. The leader of the Apple Squad, Total Warriors, is Bullseye, a very skilled archer who has a backstory, as well as his lieutenant, the second in command of the Total Warriors, is Razor. I have a good cast filled out with a couple characters yet to debut, but will be in future episodes. The only character as of yet that hasn't been seen I'll talk about in a little bit. So we have Bullseye and Razor. Those are the 1 and 2 of the Alpha Squad. Those are the leaders. There is a second unit in Total Warriors, Beta Squad. They are Crosswire, who will be in the premiere episode, and Deadbolt. Backstory for Bullseye, and backstory for basically the entire series is it's post-war. If you saw in the teaser, it's been years since the evil Lord Destructor was defeated by Windfire on Kater Island, which is where the Windfire comic series takes place. And meanwhile, in the land of Valora, Skull, the rival of the TKs, has been defeated, but an old rival in that series is returning in the comic series. If you've seen issues 1, 2, and 3 are on Amazon, as well as for Windfire. The other series that I have yet to finish the 3rd issue of is Spontaneous Sea, as well as the Hero Man Adventures 3rd issue, which will be getting done sometime shortly, early this year, here in 2018. And of course, all the series tie. As you will see in episode 1 of Total Warriors, there is the Harznian, which are an alien species who have roots in the old comics from the old EC generation, the old EC era. The Mercenary Hive, which are going to be a huge storyline in the Total Warriors series. And if you have read the Windfire issues on Amazon.com, please check those out. Or go to the EC brand website to click on the direct links to the Amazon pages for those comics respectively. You will see Mercenaries referenced at the end of the 3rd issue. Spoiler, but that ties into the Total Warriors series. We're all connecting. Everything is running currently, actually. If you go through all the series, including Spontane and Hero Man and Total Warriors, and then obviously Windfire and TKs, everything is running concurrently. They all take place in the same time frame. Not the same world, per se. There's 3 different settings throughout the universe. We have Earth for Hero Man. We have Troa for Windfire, TKs, and Total Warriors. And then we have Tolar, which is the world that Spontaneous Sea and his allies live, as well as the twin world of that world, Hatar. Backstory somewhere down the line, and if you want to know, please ask, please comment, please tweet me, please whatever. I have many ways you can communicate with me, and feel free to communicate with me. So back to the Total Warriors. Basically, on Etol, while everything is going on throughout Troa, Etol is being seriously bad things happening with the Mercenary Hive, who was created by Arcad, who were created by Arcad, who's from Harzan. And in the opening storyline for the Total Warriors series is the Mercs may have been defeated, but not quite. And so that's I'm not going to spoil it any more than that. Make sure you please check that out in a few days on my YouTube channel. The series is really dark. It's really well done. The first episode was really well done. I love the way I animated it. The cast I got for it, I want to give a shout out to Kevin, to Kyle, to Reshane, to Chuck, and to Pete, who all lended their voices for the episode and are in the cast. The series is going to be a really good one, I guarantee you. You won't recognize any of the characters, which is the whole point, because it's a brand new cast of characters. My voice is in there naturally, and the only returning person thus far is Pete, who in Hero Man plays Agent 58. I do have plans for other characters to be in the series, like including Deadbolt, more Harsnian soldiers, more Harsnian characters. Who knows? I have a lot of characters from the original Total Warrior series that never really got enough, I guess you could say, page time in the old comics. It only ran like a 15-issue run, and it just ended abruptly. And then I started it again a few years ago in my old drawn comics, and I filled in some backstory because the way it ends, which I'm not going to be doing in the comics at all. The way it ends, the way the original run ended, was the Alpha Squad traveled to Harzin to rescue Tal and Edson, who's one of the villains. You have the villains in the series are Edson and Emox, spelt oddly. The guys doing the cast had some mispronunciations, but I was able to tweak it enough on Audacity to make it sound decent, to make it more accurate. I try my best with the audio, so if the audio doesn't sound great in the premiere, pardon me. I apologize. No fault on the guys who did the lines. I appreciate what they did, but in future episodes, things will be better. I guarantee it. As for Edson and Emox, Edson is the brother of Arcad, and Emox is the brother of Tal. So we have a familial connection in the series, spanning, because Tal's original appearance in the old comics was in the Windfire series, during a stretch, and then that led to whole things in the Windfire series. I'm spoiling this a little bit more, and I'm hoping this basically brings you guys to the Windfire comics on Amazon and the other comics as well as Amazon, and keeps you watching the cartoons, especially as the series progress. Not to mention the Hero Man series, of course, which is the flagship for the EC brand in the current era. And in 2000, since the movie 2014 through now, 4 years or so, Hero Man's become the main thing. Hero Man 26 again will be going, as well as Hero Man issue 3 sometime within the next month or so. Anyways, back to the Total Warrior series. Warper, who is an ally of Windfire in the comics, was Drone 0001, the original drone Arcade created, who was given free will, who did all he did as a mercenary, wantingly and willingly, and knowing he was doing it, and he lives without regret for the rest of his life. And that's part of his penance, is he has to, he fights against Arcade and destroys everything he can of Arcade's, and helps free those that can be freed, because there's this whole thing. It's my version of the Borg, which I think I mentioned in a video or podcast sometime last year. It's a good plot device for a comic or a cartoon, and I really want to show it. Pardon my animation skills, pardon the fact that none of my characters blink. It's one thing I've never done in any of my cartoons. Well, looking at the Hero Man, nobody blinks. They're all wearing masks or sunglasses. Well, the Repscallions do, and so do the other bad guys. But, forgive me for that lack of thing. I don't blink. And a lot of my characters don't have ears. Well, the human ones do, but the non-human ones, not so much. So, anyway, sorry, off there for a minute. So, like I was saying, the Mercenary Hive is the underlying plotline for the opening series, the premiere storyline for the Total Warriors Alpha Squad series. But eventually, down the line, there will be other villains introduced. I have a whole plethora, a whole cavalcade of villainous scum to be using, and I will be doing crossovers. I may even I have plans of throwing in a couple never seen before characters from other series cameoing in the Total Warrior series, because they do all exist in the same universe, and they all do have ties and connections. There will be references in future Total Warriors episodes 2 and 3 to allies of Windfire and more things on the past. In the original run of the Total Warriors comics, things end abruptly, like I said, on Harzin, and I basically ended that series poorly as I look back years ago on it, by destroying Harzin. It's like, no. So I basically, when I restarted the comics in 2011 or 12, before I got into animation, I was like, you know what, I'm going to give these guys another bit. So I had a backstory and a few new issues where Crossfire and Deadbolt are still around. There was a Gamma Squad of Total Warriors, who I think Hazmat and Crowbar were their names, which may or may not ever show up in the cartoons. And I just basically gave closure to the Alpha Squad. While last year I was thinking of doing a new cartoon series, I was like, I'm going to bring back the Total Warriors. I'm going to bring back Bullseye and Razorblade. Well, Razor, his original name is Razorblade, and the whole Razor has a good backstory, which is going to be getting into later episodes. Razor's backstory, I think, is the deepest of all. They've all lost something, basically all of Troa has lost something. Etoll has suffered no less than the others. And in this series, you'll see a lot of it. Razor's lost something. Crosswire's lost something. Crosswire, I think, has another deep backstory, which I got into the comics in a weird kind of way, but I'm going to touch on it in episodes 2 and 3, and then future episodes in the series as well. Again, premiere episode will be premiering on the 31st of January. That's only a few days away from the time I'm recording this podcast. From the time I upload this on YouTube, it'll be even less time to get to the premiere. I do appreciate those who help. More cast will be needed sometime down the line. The series is going to be good, I guarantee it. Please, please, please like it, because I'm putting a lot of work into it. Everything you see is drawn tablet, but still by hand. A lot of overlaying. It's a fun process. This one took, if you do the opening credits, everything I've done thus far, I'm right around 1,000 frames, I think. For the opening, the first teaser, the credits opening, and then the first episode as well, with shots being reused. So somewhere about 800-900, probably something like that. A lot of work is going into this. A lot of work we can continue to go into this, as well as Hero Man when I get to episode 26, which is developing a good storyline in season 2. So brief bit about that. If you saw episodes 23 and 25, you saw Hero Man's girlfriend, Angel Stargazer, in a couple of flashbacks. In 26, she actually shows up in real time, in present day, in a setting, in a different kind of way. She's there. She's just not on Earth. Which is a whole new discussion, which I can talk about later on. If you want to know, please comment in the YouTube comment section. That this podcast will then be video uploaded as well as on my SoundCloud for EC Brand, or I may just do it strictly on YouTube from now on. If you want to download it, I will post a link or something in the description. This is basically about Total Warriors Alpha Squad, which is a new series, and I'm really, really excited about it, and I hope you guys are too. Thank you for listening. This was the EC Podcast.